Hi, I'm Paul Wehner. I'm actually married to Karen Wehner from the Presto team, and she asked me to make some ribs for Memorial Day weekend and kind of show how we use some Reynolds products in doing so. So just start from the beginning. These ribs have been on for a couple hours. They're baby back ribs, 3 racks of baby back ribs. We prepped them this morning with a mustard binder, some brown sugar rub, and then I use another rub that comes from a website called Hey Girl Hey, or Hey Girl Hey. So did their rib rub, the Hey Girl Hey rib rub, and these have been on for about 2.5 hours. The method we're going to be using to cook these ribs is one of the most common, popular ways to cook ribs. It's called the 3-2-1 method. And the 3-2-1 method, you cook them open like this for 3 hours. You then cook them 2 hours wrapped, and then you cook them 1 hour open again to develop what they call a crust or a bark on the surface of the ribs. Big difference here that the typical 3-2-1 method uses foil. So you wrap the ribs in foil.
Upside down.
Oh, oops. You wrap the ribs in foil, and and you wrap them relatively tightly. That traps moisture in, and they essentially steam the ribs. That's probably the most popular way you're ever going to hear the 3-2-1 method discussed. I've used that a number of times, and it's a great way to do ribs. If you like your ribs really soft and fall off the bone, you'll literally, if you do the 3-2-1 method and steam it for 2 hours, you're really going to get a meat that literally falls off the bone when you pick it up. If you like your ribs a little bit chewier, and that happens to be the case here at the Wehner household, we found a solution to that, and that is you still use 3-2-1, except instead of wrapping in foil, you wrap in butcher paper, also from Reynolds. And that allows a little bit more of the moisture to escape. It allows the ribs to continue to cook instead of steam. And that'll get you, if you do 3-2-1 with butcher paper, you're gonna see in a little while, you're gonna get a rib that is still solid on the bone. The butcher paper protects the rib from getting burnt or too smoky, but it doesn't steam it, so it still is kind of chewy on the bone. So definitely a good way to do it. So in about a half hour, we're gonna come back out here. We're gonna show you how to wrap the ribs and then keep this thing moving. Thanks. All right, hey, we're back. It's been 3 hours. It's been cooking for 3 hours at about 200 with high smoke. And we're gonna take these out and wrap it. We're gonna show you both ways, both the foil and the paper. So just have some gloves on here that'll help. I put them face down on the foil, and you can see on the foil you're really gonna wanna wrap them tight because you want that moisture to stay in there.
And what kind of foil works best for this?
We're using the Reynolds non-stick right now. I've also used the specialty grilling foil because it's sometimes a little bigger. We're doing baby backs today, and any size foil works. If you're doing bigger spare ribs, sometimes you have to use the larger sizes, which I think is what the grill foil is really good for. And then this is being wrapped in the butcher paper.
Was it pretty easy to tear that butcher paper off the roll?
It has a cutter. Did you not know it had a cutter?
I did.
Oh.
I was just trying to emphasize that. Yeah.
Were you in charge of that? Was that your innovation?
No, it was not.
And you can see right away you're getting moisture through. I mean, you're obviously not getting any moisture through the foil. You're already getting moisture through the butcher paper as soon as it touches it. So that just shows you how the foil is really going to trap in all that moisture and steam those ribs, and the butcher paper is going to be a little less steamy. Put them face down. And this is going to be tight, but I think we can do it.
It's okay if you have to use another piece because it's a nice big roll.
That will be good.
Okay.
So all of these are ready to go. So again, they're going to go wrapped for about 2 hours, hence the term 3-2-1. So 2 hours wrapped, all 3 of them, and we'll get to show you what they look like, the 2 different methods. Thanks. Hey, welcome back to the Wehner's Memorial Day Rib Cook-Off. A couple things about just what we're doing here. This is a pellet smoker that we're cooking the ribs on. It allows you to smoke things at a very low temperature. You could do this technique with a lot of different kind of grills, whether they're pellet smokers or not. You could use a Big Green Egg, you could use a Weber, you could even use a Weber kettle, it works well. You could even use a gas grill if you have some sort of smoke box that you can put in there. Those are pretty easy to find. But this is a pellet grill. It feeds pellets and smokes at about a 200 to 225 temperature. We've been smoking all day at 200, and you can see it creates a lot of smoke there. So, and you can also see the three racks of ribs we have here: 2 wrapped in Reynolds Butcher Paper and 1 wrapped in foil. And we're going to unwrap them and then put them back on the grill for the last hour, where it's going to cook unwrapped. So you can see.
Ooh, that looks good.
So it's actually the sugar in the rub is caramelized nicely. You should be still pretty. You're starting to get a bend in this. You're starting to get a bend in this rib, but because it was cooked wrapped, it's not totally fall off the bone. We'll see what the one wrapped in foil looks like.
In the meantime, this is Iris. She really likes the smell of ribs. Say hi, Iris.
Really good. You can see that bend when I pick them up, but they're not falling off. And we'll see about the rib. We'll see about the foil. And you can see all that. Look at that juice. And you can see the foil wrap one. The bones are already sticking out from the meat, and you get a lot more bend. It almost breaks apart, but it's still not falling off the bone. So that'll be great. So these are going to go back on for an hour unwrapped, and then we're gonna be good to go. So see you in an hour. All right, so an hour has passed and they're pretty much done. So we did the 3 hours open, 2 hours wrapped, 1 in foil, 2 in butcher paper, and then another hour open. And you can see this is the one that's in foil. You can see that's literally like breaking apart when I pick it up. And these two have a little bit, or also have a bend, but they don't break. They don't fall off the bone the way the foil one did. And then we'll take these inside, we'll cut them up and show some things. So I'll just show you, that's the bend of one of the ribs, one of the racks of ribs that was in the butcher paper. And you slice these open, you'll see that meat, it's got a nice smoke ring, but it's still pretty much together on the bone. And that's gonna be a nice chewy rib if you like them that way. And then, let's do this. So that's kind of that's what that rib in the butcher paper is gonna look like and feel like. And then if you take this one that was in the foil, look at how much more bend that has in it. And when you cut into these, you're literally gonna see how that almost pulls right off the bone. You don't even have to really slice it very much. And that's because wrapped in foil, well, the dogs are gonna love that. Wrapped in foil, you steamed those ribs for a full hour. So you get a much softer fall off the bone feel and not as much bite to your rib. These are pretty good though. They're not as fall off the bone as some of them get. So I think both of these batches are gonna be, yeah, everybody has their preferences, but both these batches are gonna be really good. Thanks.
Great. Oh, and here's some coleslaw too. That goes well with it. Oh, and there's cornbread on the stove. Okay.